Hi everybody, good Friday. Made it to the end of the week and the weekend is almost here, and I don't think you can dial up any better weather than we're going to have from now until Sunday, as it looks to be really nice. I'm not rolling up my sleeves because the weather is going to be bad. I'm rolling up my sleeves for comfort because I hate when my sleeves are fully down when I don't have my suit on. So waking up this morning, Eric Burke was covering the weather this morning. I was covering BB traffic, and we were talking about how there wasn't any fog like there was yesterday morning, so the weather wasn't an issue for the morning commute, though there were a few accidents. Maybe distracted by all that beautiful sun that was popping through that sunrise this morning, because it's going to be a beautiful day. Temperatures were a bit chilly this morning, like they should be this time of year. We had some 30s sprinkled in with some 40s, but now that we've had sunshine throughout the first part of the morning and we get closer to the noontime hour, temperatures have responded to that sunshine, and many locations are sitting in the mid to upper 60s, and we're not done yet. Looks like we're going to take this thing all the way up into the 70s by the time we get to the afternoon. And if today is not warm enough for you, tomorrow not only do we have 70s in the forecast, but we may actually have a few locations that nudge 80 briefly during the afternoon. Obviously a 180 compared to where we were at the beginning of the week when we were talking about the bone-chilling cold, and it was literally the quickest hit of cold you could imagine, like 36, 48 hours, however you want to define it. And then we knew the temperatures were going to moderate nicely. If you were at the Veterans Day Parade in Huntsville on Tuesday, it was chilly for sure, but the sun felt good. Every time we were in the truck and we took the turn around a corner and the sun was hitting us in the face, it didn't really feel all that bad outside. There wasn't much wind and it felt pretty good. So the temperatures, though, really started to change on Wednesday. You could feel evidence of that on Tuesday with all that sunshine and getting back to 50 degrees. And overall, very mild stretch of weather our way. It's not just through the weekend. This mild air goes all the way to next week too. And talked about how we got closer to the end of November, that temperatures would probably be above average. And it looks good until we get to about Thanksgiving. Then we might have a little bit of a dip. But right now, temperatures remain above average for the foreseeable future. 60s today. Find your location on the map. Ranging from Scottsboro at 61, Winchester 69, 68 in the Shoal, 63 in Huntsville, and temperatures warming up nicely. Big ridge across the U.S. It's making national news. They covered it this morning on NBC Today. Al Roker was talking about all the potential record highs that will take place in the Central Plains today. Places like Kansas and Oklahoma and even Texas, all the way up into Iowa, where temperatures will probably be about 20 to 30 degrees above average for this time of year. And you get one of these ridges, and what happens is we stay warm too. Anytime you're below that ridge, you end up having temperatures that will be warm or above average, and that's exactly what we have going on. You can see that on the temperature graphic. It almost matches where those arrows were, right? Cool northwest, cool northeast, but the ridge in the middle, and you get all that warm air building. It's already in the 80s in parts of Texas this morning. So, and the high pressure that we have that's dominating our forecast started to move a little bit more east. That means you get on the backside of that high, and it's a return flow, and your winds turn a little bit more southwesterly, and hence why everybody's warming up, and the temperatures will take off for much of the U.S. today, be above average. Again, record-setting highs in the Central Plains. For us, not really record-setting, but still toasty. There's your sunshine, temperatures in the 70s. If you're going to high school football games this evening, delightful November weather for high school playoff action, as the temperatures will slowly drop. So usually this time of year, even if you have a warm day in November, when the sun goes down, it happens, before 5 o'clock, right? Usually when that sun goes down, temperatures can cool off pretty quickly. But tonight, that's not the case. The air mass is pretty warm. So it will stay pretty much upper 50s for kickoff, maybe fall back into the mid 50s during the game. But boy, what a beautiful evening. Eventually we will fall back into the low 50s, but for this time of year, that's a mild night and it'll be a mostly clear night. Weekend looks really good. That 20% chance of a shower or two Sunday morning is extremely isolated. So you're warm, you're breezy Saturday, 70s to near 80. Beautiful night Saturday night with a few clouds. If you pop that shower Sunday, it would be in the morning. I'll be on air with you this weekend. And then after the shower chance moves on out, the afternoon looks pretty good, around 70 with a mix of sun and clouds. And we'll call it a warm November weekend. Even when the temperatures dip back a little bit Sunday night, it's not terribly cold in the 40s. We're right back into the 60s on Monday, a little bit above where we should be for this time of year. And then next week, when we have a little bit more in the way of rain opportunities, Tuesday and Wednesday looks real isolated, but higher chances of rain for Thursday, Friday, and possibly into next weekend. And that's when we start to see a dip in temperature towards the tail end of that 10-day forecast. A little bit more cloud cover, a little bit of rain, and a frontal boundary that looks like it will move through and drop the temperatures from 70s to 60s to 50s, and that will bring back a little bit cooler air for you. And that puts us, 21, 22, puts about the 22nd or 23rd. So, yeah, so eventually some cooler temperatures, but not terribly cold. And there's a lot of warmth in this 10-day forecast up until that point. So temperatures will be above average for a while. And it looks pretty good. Hi, Sarah. Good morning, Jeff and the family. I trust you had a wonderful time off. Love the warm weather. I'm glad, Sarah, you like the warm weather, and I did. I took an extra 2 days off on Wednesday and Thursday this week, even though I still was part of the parade on Tuesday. It was nice not having to go to work. I actually went out of town for a little bit, and it was fun. And besides Monday, which was like a miserably cold day, I packed it inside all day. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday got outside. In fact, it was so nice yesterday that Eric, myself, Matthew went down to the pickleball courts and had a fantastic day of pickleball. Met up with a couple people down there that were already playing or wanted to play, and played for like 3 hours. It was a little bit of a wind, but not bad. It was sunny and it was nice, felt good, worked up a sweat, and it was great. If you play pickleball outside, any kind of wind can do some funky things with the ball when it's flying around, because it's essentially a wiffle ball. And yesterday, it wasn't all that windy, but it seemed like every time you go to serve, the wind would pick up just to mess with your serve. But it was good. It was a good day. It was good to be out for sure. And it was nice to be able to get some pickleball in this week. I always try to play at least one day out of the week to get a little exercise. And try to lose a little weight. Sarah, Daniel wanted to tell me that it waved hi to you in the parade. We saw you in the green truck. I got your picture, and I know where you were, and unfortunately, I think if I remember correctly, that was about when the sun was hitting us in the face and we couldn't see a thing. It was like the glare was crazy. But yes, we were, it's funny because like you're up in that truck and you're kind of waving to everybody and you're saying hi and trying to be cordial, and you always can tell the people who don't want to wave back at you. They're like, oh, TV people. And then there's people who want to say hi to you, and they're like, hey, and they go crazy, and it's great. It's hard to see people in the stands sometimes, like in the crowd, but if I had seen you, which I did not, I would have probably jumped out of the truck and come over and said hi personally. But it's weird because in the Christmas parade, we have the option to walk with the car. So the storm tracker's going, and Eric and I will walk, and we like to go and like hit high fives with people and talk with everybody and shake hands and kiss babies, and that's what we do. But in the Veterans Day parade, they're a little bit more strict that you have to kind of stay in the vehicle, and you not supposed to really be able to walk around it. So we were told we had to go in the truck. So we did what we were told to do. And that truck is pretty cool. Like, it's pretty awesome. We rode in it last year too. But, and he's very good about not hitting the brakes hard and not gassing up too quickly. Because if he did, the three of us, Eric, myself, and Brad, would have probably flopped out the back of it because we were trying to stand up and say hi to everybody. And but it was good. It was a good time. Great crowd too. Huge parade this year. And the weather worked out good. It was a little chilly, cool. You expect it to be in November. But the sun felt great. And I think everybody was really excited, just overall, just talking to people. We're just real excited that the sun popped and turned out to be a great day for the parade, which was really awesome. So, good stuff. Plus, like a lot of times you go through these parts of the parade where there's like a lot of people. And you're like trying to pick people out to see if you know them and stuff, say hi. But yeah, there's a young lady and her husband, Christina and Todd, they watch us, and they watch us from Huntsville. And they were down there in the parade too, and they're like, we saw you, we waved, and you didn't see us. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I tried to wave. I waved to everybody, I do. But it was just cool to see so many people turn out for the parade. So many different festivities and different ceremonies that are taking place beyond the parade too, which makes the day fantastic. A day that we can, be thankful for the veterans that we have, the veterans that have served, everybody being part of what turns out to be just a very festive day in Huntsville. And so many So many people there on Tuesday. It was really great to see. Parade was huge too. So we start the parade, we get all the way around and get through it. We're actually walking back, and we have to cut through the parking lot to get to Brad's truck. And part of the parade hadn't even left yet. Like they were still waiting to go. Like they were in the chutes ready to take off, and we're like, wow, we're already done with the parade. We're walking back to the truck, and they haven't even started their part yet. So that's how big the parade was. I don't remember that happening last year. And we walked through the same parking lot last year, so it was pretty crazy. It was a big parade. A Christmas parade. Sarah, I'll look that up for you because I think it's the Tuesday. I want to say December 9th, but it might be December 2nd. Let me check real quick for you. I'll look it up. I got nothing else to do. I might as well look it up. Let me find out. Huntsville Christmas Day Parade. It's the 2nd. So, wow, it's kind of close. So December 2nd at 6 p.m. is when the parade kicks off. And I don't think it's a very Merry Christmas is the theme this year. And I don't think the parade path or track or whatever loop we go on is that quite as long. But I don't know. I remember last year when we were walking it, Eric and I were a little winded towards the end of it. We're like, whew, we're a little tired. But it was fun. It was really cool. That's the date. So December 2nd is the Christmas parade. And if you listen to 96.9, we do some weather hits for them, and they're really great. Abby K is awesome. They've been playing it up too. They're a big sponsor for it and stuff, so it works out well. Last year, I feel like the Christmas parade was packed. I mean, I remember, I felt like I was hitting high fives for like an hour, 2 hours straight. It was pretty awesome, even before the parade started, which was really great. So, Sarah says, I think there were 160 floats in the Veterans Day parade, Sarah, or what's coming up for Christmas. I don't know. I know when we ran the story, I'm pretty sure, I had the days off, so I wasn't watching a lot of news. But I remember hearing that the Veterans Day parade had more entries than it ever had before. I don't know if that's entirely true, so do not quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that I heard that. And regardless if it was the most ever or not, it was an awesome turnout, and there was so many people part of the parade. It's very cool. Sarah says, yes, 160 floats. So in the Veterans Day parade. Got it. I don't know. The Christmas one's really cool. Like the parade for Christmas is like people get to put their spin on their own floats. You know what I mean? Like some of them are really cool and outside the box thinking, and I think there's a prize for the best one too, but put it all together and you can have some pretty extravagant floats that end up flying around, driving into the parade. Some of them could be flying. I think there was a plane one last year. It was really cool. There was a tree, and then they had like around it orbiting, like going around the tree were planes and helicopters, and I forget what the theme of their float was though. It was like Christmas in the air or something like that. It's just really thoughtful. Yeah, I think, like I said, outside the box thinking. I love that stuff. So yeah, very cool, very cool. So all right, time is 10:44. I got to get myself ready for the TVL show. I don't have to do much because the star of the show is Peyton, and she will have the very latest on everything going down in the area this weekend. She'll have some, I don't know, I think she might have some guests today. Friday is sometimes guest day. I didn't look at the rundown yet. I'm a bad boy. I should have looked at the rundown before I said that. But she will be on at 11 to 11:30. Then after a quick break, we start the noon show. Gina Benitez and myself will be on. I do a very small part with a couple weather hits. She rocks everything else, including updates on the news stories, anything that was breaking this morning, and also following up on things that happened yesterday that have a follow-up to it. And she will have the very latest at noon, and we'll be on till 1 o'clock. Sarah, you're very well. Thank you for the update. Thank you for being here in the chat. We appreciate it. Sometimes, the weekends we get like all this chat, people talk, and then sometimes we get in here and it's like 2 people talk. But you're always more than welcome if you come on to our weather extra to ask some weather questions or whatever's on your mind. Try to keep it geared towards weather, though, would be great. Or any events that are taking place would be fantastic. And enjoy the afternoon. Beautiful weather. Jada Russell will be in tonight. She's filling in for Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis. And then I am back tomorrow morning, and then Jada night, me morning, Jada night for the weekend. So typical weekend where it's me morning, Jada at night. But she is filling in for Brad tonight, and she'll have the very latest for you tonight on the weekend forecast. For now, I'm going to get ready for TVL. Have a fantastic Friday, TGIF. Get the weekend ready. Maybe putting up some decorations outside. Beautiful weekend to put some decorations up if you haven't done so already. Based on driving around Huntsville lately, I feel like everybody was really excited to put decorations up this year early because it seems like so many more houses have lights this early. And I know some people are really like steadfast on it happening after Thanksgiving, but some of the decorations are just beautiful across the area. And when we were doing the parade the other day, we went down past Big Spring Park, and Eric was like, oh, you know, the tinsel is going to be out soon. The Christmas trees are going to be out soon. Yeah. And I look forward to that every year. I remember that the first year I moved here, it was like the first month I moved here and going down and seeing the tinsel trail. And it was pretty awesome. And seeing all the trees and how they're decorated and, you know, good times. It's definitely the holiday season here in Huntsville. It certainly marks the Huntsville holiday season here, which is great. All right, everybody have a fantastic day. We'll talk soon.